What's up, guys? It's Benny. Talking to each other is a good thing. In the aftermath of Candace Owens and her breakup, very ugly decoupling and divorce from the Daily Wire, she offered to debate Ben Shapiro about why she left the company or why her contract was canceled. And this was something that obviously went way thermonuclear, was laundered into the public. The two of them were going back and forth with each other. Big debate about whether Christ is king and so on and so forth online. Christ, of course, is king. And I think there's so much that story that we will never know because of NDAs, because of lawsuits, and also because right when the debate was allegedly supposed to happen between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, Candace Owens was hit with a gag order from a judge. She said wasn't allowed to talk about any of it. And that was that. I think that's a shame because I believe that it would have been really good for both sides to hear their opinions and to hear their worldviews sort of crystallized there. Something magical happens when you're in a room with somebody one-on-one. When you're in person, you end up seeing the other person as a lot more human, and so often a very good thing. I'm pro people talking. I am pro more conversation, not less, more debate, not less, more people hashing out their ideas. They don't have to agree on everything. They often won't. But it'll be good for everyone to see that at the very least we can have a pressure release valve, right? In that scenario, we didn't get it. Instead, we got more lawsuits and more litigious, and that's a shame. Because I think it would have been good for Shapiro and for Candace for that to have happened. Anyway, that's ancient history. It was happening about 16 months ago. That was going down last summer. And so now, fast forward to today, Candace Owens is sparring, obviously, with Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's team, and has taken advantage of the public's desire to learn more about how Charlie Kirk was murdered on a live stream in the most horrific way possible. And obviously left a lot of people wanting because there's just not been a ton of evidence that's been put out there. And even independent reporters from corporate media outlets, journalists there in Utah have said that they can't get anything. They can't get the security footage. They can't get the police recordings. They can't get anything. And the judge has ruled and might rule banning all cameras from the courthouse in what would be the biggest insult to the American public. And I'm enraged about it. I'm doing everything I possibly can to make sure that doesn't happen because we deserve to know. But Candace, I think, had taken advantage of the rightful longing for people that loved Charlie, worked with Charlie, myself included. I wasn't there. I'm not part of his show. I'm not part of his company. I worked with him, Turning Point for the last nearly decade. I love that guy. But I just want to know, I want to see all of the evidence. Anyway, these are natural and important instincts to have. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't make unfounded claims or allegations against people. You have to be able to back up what you're saying, especially if it's causing an enormous amount of damage. And what Candace Owens did this week, which started a sort of cascade of events now, is put out this post. It's been seen by 15 million people. Here's what it says. I received information, final pieces together for me. I can say with full confidence that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership at Turning Point USA, some very powerful people who eulogized him on stage. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims, and I'll be making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were all lied to and leadership knew. So, this was sent on December 2nd, 72 hours ago, and, it is obviously quite the allegation that the people who were running Charlie Kirk's organization had him killed. Hot damn. Is there any evidence of that? What do we got? Well, what we got yesterday was a challenge from Turning Point to Candace to defend this and a number of other statements that she has made about the murder of Charlie Kirk. This came from Blake Neff, who was a writer for Charlie. He's a writer and a producer, and he worked also previously for Tucker Carlson. The concentric circles are getting tight here. And Blake said on Charlie Kirk's show, here are all the theories or lies that you've told about us. We are going to set the record straight on every single one of them. We're going to do it live on our show. Everyone's going to be able to watch and see it. And Candace, you're invited to join us in person. Followed up by this, the live stream we announced on the show has been set at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th. A collection of Charlie's friends will respond to statements from Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest, the big Turning Point conference. We'll be live streaming it from Charlie's studio. The offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she's welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of the day. So this is what Blake has put out this morning on behalf of Charlie's team. Candace accepted last night.
Has had enough with the non-response, trying to move on, trying to gaslight us, not answering basic details. So we just went for it. And guess what? Turning Point has moved to formally respond to all the things that we have said. And after a very long diatribe in which they wildly misrepresent the public and global investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination, they at long last issued a public invitation or a challenge. I'm not sure what it is, but I accept. Okay? Quite literally, all we have ever asked for were sensible answers to our basic questions about what transpired on September 10th. And it looks like we're going to get those things. So major, major win. I am excited.
Well, everybody on the internet said, holy smokes, we're going to get this. Now, I know all the parties involved here. I've been on Candace's show, worked with Candace for a long time. I worked with Charlie for a long time. I wasn't a part of any of their businesses, which is like, it's just a small group here. So let me tell you this honestly, without trying to get into any of the one detail or another. I wasn't there on that day. I saw the same things you did. I have the same access to information that you do. I'm frustrated with the amount of access that I have and the questions that I still remain about Charlie's death. I'm angry about it. I'm frustrated about it. But also, there are a lot of people who deserve to have their names cleared that are part of Charlie's team. And the best way to do that is to just freaking clear your name. And so this needs to happen. The same way that the Candace accusing Ben Shapiro of this, Ben Shapiro accusing Candace of that, tit for tat. It's like, who can be the biggest victim? Let's have it out. Everybody say it on stage. Say it live. Let the facts speak for themselves. That's why this is critically important. People were celebrating this. Now, there it is. Candace Owens officially accepted Turning Point challenge to debate. The game is on. The truth will be heard around the world. Okay, good. I mean, I think everyone should be in favor of this. Candace Owens posting, Turning Point throws down the gauntlet. They're ready for to just answer the questions about 9/10. That's the date that Charlie was killed. And they are calling me out. Let's go. Okay, so everyone seems excited to do this. This will be a really, really good thing. Candace Owens, multiple times on her show, accepted the invitation for a face-to-face sit-down to confront the allegations against them. Yay, I will accept it with whistles and bells. I fully accept. I say let's do it tomorrow. She ends by joking, my only ground rule is no assassinations. You can't pretend you're going to do it. And then Candace dies in a mysterious accident. Okay, so there she goes again. And so there we go. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is obviously Candace watching the clip of Blake Neff, again, one of Charlie's producers and writers, breaking down all of the various allegations and theories that Candace has around Charlie's death. Then something incredible happened. Candace Owens seemingly may back out of this. Let's go ahead and read. Kind of weird how you didn't email me or ask me about times or availability and chose instead to tweet a confirmation at midnight. So this is the tweet that I just read to you, that they're ready. They're going to do this at 2 p.m. local time on this Monday, December 15th. Why am I learning about this on X? December 15th does not work in person, and 2 p.m. is the literal time I do my podcast live every day, which you know. we'll happily cancel the daily podcast. I'll join you guys virtually instead for the live stream on the 15th. Does that work on your end? Let's lock it in. She says, also, I will add that I'm happy to jump on Charlie's show any day before the virtual event as well. I was serious when I said that we could do it today, even. Virtually, I can make it happen pretty much any day because it's easier to move things around the kids and find somebody to sub for my morning homeschooling. Okay. Listen, man, I do a virtual show. We rarely have in-person guests. That's a shame. I wish that we could. We just don't get, this just sometimes it's hard to get people to travel through to Tampa. It would be a lot harder to book the show because we'd have to fly a bunch of people in every single day. It'd be a lot more expensive. And so it's just easier. Most people have a webcam and people are just like used to this, by now. Pat McAfee, like there's a bunch of people that have like successful, it's sort of almost near all digital shows, very little in person. And so I don't think that it's a problem. It shouldn't be a problem to do this virtually. It seems like that's the offer. I think they should take her up on it. And so, but I also like, it does feel like, okay, so I can see both ends here. Why not just make it work? December 15th does not work in person. I think a lot of people would really like to see that. I'd like to see Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro debate on a stage in person. Being virtual does certainly take some of the like kinetic energy out of it. But I'll take anything. I'll take what we can get. I think that virtual they should just let it. I think they should let it happen virtually. I'm not in charge. I don't run Charlie's show. I was never part of his show. We worked together at Turning Point. That's what we did. I wasn't part of the tour. But I want to see this happen. They invited you to participate. They didn't say that they would make it the Candace Owens show and work around your schedule. These are your allegations. It's incumbent upon you to make the schedule work. It's kind of like checking spell check before typing the wrong base. So, a lot of people saw the quartering also, like sort of clobbering Candace, Tim Pool as well. I'm going to try, as I have tried throughout this entire scenario, and approach this with extreme respect. Say that everybody wants answers here. The reason why this stuff has taken off in the way that it has is because people don't feel like they've gotten answers, and Charlie meant something to all of us, myself included. And so, like, having Candace on the show, whether it's virtual or in person, I really hope that doesn't become some type of like sticking point then it doesn't happen, right? Much like in the American judicial system, everyone deserves their day in court, as they say, innocent until proven guilty. And there's people whose, I know this as a matter of fact, personal lives have been set on fire because of allegations that Candace has made. And also, I mean, listen, a lot of this sounds like it's a setup for a potential lawsuit. I said that in a previous video, and I'll say it again here. Seems like I don't know that. I don't know. But it seems like it's a setup for a potential lawsuit, because what you do in a defamation lawsuit like this is you have to publicly say that you have to publicly air the truth. You have to give demonstrable evidence to the truth so that you can prove malice. You have to prove malice in any defamation case. And so proving malice would be that you've had a large enough audience see the truth, and then somebody continues with their lies. And so that's what it seems like is happening here. And anyway, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully you join me in thinking that this would be an extreme positive good. I don't know how else to approach it other than I want the truth, right? Like everybody just wants the truth on this. And this is the way to get there, right? To present the truth. Hopefully law enforcement, like the local law enforcement, the state law enforcement, and the FBI follow suit. I think that the public frankly deserves public briefings on the Charlie Kirk assassination every week. That would be my preference. What do you think? It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.